The Media Mothership presents
Top 8 Richest People in the World and Their Stories.
Number 8.
Warren Buffett. The second of 3 children to a congressman father in Nebraska, Buffett and his family moved to Washington, D.C. when he was just 12 years old, and he always seemed to have a knack for business. Buffett was inspired by a book titled 1,000 Ways to Make $1,000, which he borrowed from the public library when he was just 7 years old, and it is said that Buffett sold chewing gum, Coca-Cola bottles, and weekly magazines door to door as a kid. Buffett graduated from Woodrow Wilson High School in 1947, where his senior yearbook quote reads, "Likes math, a future stockbroker." Buffett had no interest in college after high school, preferring to focus more on his business ventures. However, his father demanded he attend, and Buffett enrolled in the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania. Buffett would go on to earn a Master of Science in Economics in 1951 from Columbia University after being rejected by Harvard Business School. After college, Buffett returned to Omaha and worked as a stockbroker. A few years later, Buffett accepted a job with former professor Benjamin Graham, starting with $12,000 a year. However, Graham would soon retire, leaving Buffett without a job. Buffett had a personal savings of roughly $174,000, about $1.64 million today, and started Buffett Partnership Ltd. In 1962, Buffett was operating 7 partnerships and became a millionaire. He invested in and eventually took control of a textile manufacturing firm called Berkshire Hathaway. In 1988, Buffett began buying the Coca-Cola Company stock. It would turn out to be one of Berkshire's most lucrative investments, and one which still holds. Buffett became a billionaire when Berkshire Hathaway began selling Class A shares on May 29, 1990, with the market closing at a whopping $7,175 a share. In 2008, Buffett was ranked by Forbes as the richest person in the world with an estimated net worth of approximately $62 billion. He lost that title in 2009 after donating billions of dollars to charity.
Number 7.
Larry Ellison. Born in the bustling streets of New York City, Ellison contracted pneumonia at the age of 9 months and was given up for adoption by his biological mother to his aunt. Ellison moved to a middle-class neighborhood in the south side of Chicago, where he eventually would attend the University of Illinois as a pre-med student. Ellison would withdraw after his sophomore year due to the death of his adoptive mother, and after spending the summer of 1966 in California, Ellison would go back to school, attending the University of Chicago for one term, studying physics and mathematics. However, most importantly, it was here that he would discover computer design. In 1966, age 22, Ellison up and moved to Berkeley, California. During the 70s, Ellison began working for Ampex Corporation. One of his projects included creating a database for the CIA, which he named Oracle. In 1977, Ellison founded Software Development Laboratories with 2 partners and a total investment of $2,000, $1,200 of which was his money. In 1979, the company renamed itself Relational Software Inc. before finally in 1983 officially becoming Oracle Systems Corporation after its flagship product, the Oracle Database. By 2005, Oracle Corporation was paying Ellison an annual salary of $975,000. In 2006, Forbes ranked Ellison as the richest Californian. In 2007, Ellison was earning a total of $61,180,524, which included a base salary of $1 million, a cash bonus of $8,369,000, and options granted of $50,087,100. In 2010, the Wall Street Journal reported that Ellison was the best paid executive in the last decade, collecting a total compensation of $1.84 billion. In 2017, Forbes estimated that Ellison was the 4th richest person in technology.
Number 6.
Zhang Shanshan. Zhang Shanshan is a Chinese businessman and founder of Nongfu Spring, the largest beverage company in China. He is also the owner of Wantai, a pharmaceutical giant in China. Shanshan dropped out of school during the 6th grade at the age of 12 during the chaos of the Chinese Cultural Revolution after his parents were persecuted by Chinese authorities. He would work in several jobs, including construction worker, news reporter, and beverage salesman before starting his own company. In September of 1996, Shanshan founded Nongfu Spring, a producer of bottled water which grew over the years to become China's top beverage company. The firm went public in September 2020, raising nearly $1.1 billion in its initial public offering. Shanshan owns a massive 84.4% of the company, while his wife's relatives own an additional 6.2% combined. Shanshan is often referred to by Chinese media as a, quote, lone wolf due to his rare public appearances and resistance to do interviews.
Number 5.
Mark Zuckerberg. The New York native Facebook co-founder and current CEO started the company at Harvard University, where he launched the social networking service from his dorm room in 2004 with 4 other college roommates. Originally launched to only a select few college campuses, the site grew insanely rapidly and eventually beyond colleges, and today has over 1 billion users. In 2007, at age 23, Zuckerberg became the world's youngest self-made billionaire. Zuckerberg began writing computer software as early as middle school and eventually even took graduate-level computer programming courses at a college nearby his home. Zuckerberg's father was a dentist, and since his dental practice was operated from their home, one of Zuckerberg's early developments was a software program he called ZuckNet, which allowed all the computers between the house and the dental office to communicate with each other. The software is considered a primitive version of AOL's Instant Messenger, which came out a year later. Zuckerberg was a programming prodigy. While in college in 2003, shortly after Zuckerberg wrote a program he called Course Match, Zuckerberg followed up with another program he called Face Match, which lets students select the best looking person from a choice of photos. The site went up over a weekend, but by Monday morning, Harvard had shut it down, and its popularity had overwhelmed one of Harvard's network switches and prevented students from accessing internet across campus. Also, a ton of students complained that their photos were being used without permission. The following semester, in January 2004, Zuckerberg began writing code for a new website called The Facebook. Zuckerberg would drop out of Harvard not long after to continue working on the site. The origins of Facebook are murky, however, as Zuckerberg has faced multiple lawsuits complaining he stole the idea. There was even a film titled The Social Network, released in 2010, in which actor Jesse Eisenberg portrayed Zuckerberg based on the suspect origins of the company. At just 36 years old, Zuckerberg is by far the youngest member of this list.
Number 4.
Bill Gates. Bill Gates is best known as one of the pioneers of the microcomputer revolution of the 1970s and 1980s. Gates was born in Seattle, Washington in 1955 to a prominent lawyer father and a businesswoman mother. At age 13, Gates enrolled in Lakeside Prep School, where he wrote his first software program. When he was in the 8th grade, the Mothers Club at his school used proceeds from a school-run garage sale to buy a Teletype Model 33 ASR terminal and a block of computer time on a General Electric computer for the students. Gates took an interest in programming the GE system in BASIC, and he was excused from math classes to pursue his interests. He would write his first computer program on this machine, an implementation of tic-tac-toe that allowed users to play games against the computer. Gates would later attend Harvard University as a pre-law major. However, he would take a leave of absence after his sophomore year in 1975 to work at MITS with partner and childhood friend Paul Allen. Allen named the partnership Microsoft, a combination of microcomputer and software. Together, they would create Microsoft's Altair BASIC. Later, and now independent from MITS, Microsoft would launch its first retail version of Microsoft Windows on November 20th, 1985. In August of the following year, the company struck a deal with IBM to develop a separate operating system called OS/2. According to the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, Gates was the world's highest-earning billionaire in 2013. As of January 2014, most of Gates' assets are held in Cascade Investment LLC, an entity through which he owns stake in numerous businesses, including the Four Seasons Hotels and Resorts and Corbis Corp. On February 4, 2014, Gates stepped down as chairman of Microsoft to become technology advisor. Since leaving day-to-day operations at Microsoft, Gates has continued his philanthropy and still continues to work on other projects. Since 1987, Gates has been included in the Forbes list of the world's wealthiest people, and from 1995 to 2017, he held the Forbes title of the richest person in the world in all but 4 of those years.
Number 3.
Bernard Arnault. Bernard Arnault is a French businessman and art collector and the chairman and chief executive of LVMH, or Moet Hennessy Louis Vuitton, the world's largest luxury goods company. In 1971, Arnault graduated from École Polytechnique, France's leading engineering school, and began working for his father's civil engineering company. In 1984, with the help of Antoine Bernheim, Arnault acquired the Financière Agache, a luxury goods company. He would eventually become CEO and subsequently take control of a textile company in turmoil, eventually selling nearly all the company's assets and keeping only Christian Dior brand and the Le Bon Marché department store. In July 1988, Arnault provided $1.5 billion to form a holding company with Guinness, which held 24% of LVMH's shares. In response to rumors that the Louis Vuitton Group was buying LVMH's stock to form a blocking minority, Arnault spent $600 million to buy 13.5% more of LVMH, making him LVMH's largest shareholder. In January 1989, he spent another $500 million to gain control of a total 43.5% of LVMH's shares and 35% of its voting rights, thus reaching the blocking minority that he needed to stop the dismantlement of the LVMH group. On January 13, 1989, he was unanimously elected chairman of the Executive Management Board. Since then, Arnault has led the company through an ambitious development plan, transforming it into one of the largest luxury groups in the world.
Number 2.
Jeff Bezos. Best known as the founder, CEO, and president of the multinational technology company Amazon, Bezos graduated from Princeton University in 1986 with a degree in electrical engineering and computer science. He would work on Wall Street in a variety of related fields until late 1993 when he decided to establish an online bookstore, eventually leaving his job at D.E. Shaw and founding Amazon in his garage in the summer of '94 after writing its business plan on a cross-country drive from New York City to Seattle. Bezos accepted an estimated $300,000 investment from his parents, even after reportedly warning them several times that there was a 70% chance Amazon would fail or go bankrupt. Would you have backed Jeff Bezos if you were his parents with those odds stacked against you? Leave a comment below and let me know. Although Amazon was originally an online bookstore, Bezos' idea had always been to expand into other products. In 1998, Bezos diversified into the online sale of music and video, and by the end of the year he had expanded the company's products to include a variety of other consumer goods, beyond just books. Through many ups and downs in the early 2000s, including a bankruptcy scare in 2002, Bezos was able to stable the company financially with a big help from the release of the Amazon Kindle in November of 2007. By October of 2013, Amazon was recognized as the largest online shopping retailer in the world. In May of 2016, Bezos sold slightly more than 1 million shares of his holdings in the company for $671 million, the largest sum he had ever raised from selling some of his Amazon stock. On August 4, 2016, Bezos sold another million of his shares for $756.7 million. In 2019, Bezos' wealth, however, was reduced by his divorce from his wife Mackenzie. Mackenzie eventually received 25% of Bezos' Amazon shares, a value of approximately $36 billion, making her the third richest woman in the world. During the COVID-19 pandemic, it has been reported that Bezos' fortune has grown by an approximate $24 billion due to an increase in demand from lockdown households for online shopping. Bezos was named the richest man in modern history after his net worth increased to $150 billion in July 2018, and according to Forbes, he is the first person in history to have a net worth exceeding $200 billion. On February 2nd of 2021, Bezos announced that he would step down as the CEO of Amazon sometime in the third quarter and transition into the role of executive chairman.
Number 1.
Elon Musk. Elon Musk is the founder, CEO, CTO, and chief designer of SpaceX, CEO and product architect of Tesla Inc., founder of The Boring Company, co-founder of Neuralink, and co-founder and initial co-chairman of OpenAI. Born to a Canadian mother and South African father, Musk was raised in South Africa, however moved to Canada at the age of 17 to attend Queen's College in Ontario, only to transfer to the University of Pennsylvania 2 years later, where he received a dual bachelor's degree in economics and physics. In 1995, Musk was accepted to a PhD program at Stanford University. However, he dropped out of Stanford after just 2 days, deciding instead to join the internet boom and launch an internet startup. In 1995, Musk, his brother, and another friend founded web software company Zip2 with money raised from a small group of angel investors. The company developed and marketed an internet city guide for the newspaper publishing industry with maps, directions, and yellow pages. In the early days, Musk said he could not afford an apartment, instead sleeping on the office couch and showering at the local YMCA. American information technology company Compaq acquired Zip2 for $307 million in cash in February of 1999, and Musk received $22 million for his 7% share in the sale. In March 1999, Musk used $10 million of the Compaq sale to co-found X.com, an online financial service and email payment company. 1 year later, the company merged with Confinity, which had a money transfer service called PayPal. Eventually, the company became simply PayPal and was purchased by eBay in 2002 for a whopping $1.5 billion in stock, which Musk received $165 million of. In 2002, Musk would use $100 million of this new fortune to found Space Exploration Technologies Corporation, now known as SpaceX. In a 2011 interview, Musk says he hopes to send humans to Mars' surface within the next 10 to 20 years. What do you think? Is he crazy or not? Leave a comment below. Musk became involved with Tesla in July of 2003. However, at first, was not heavily involved with day-to-day business operations of the company. Following the financial crisis in 2008, then-leader Martin Eberhard was ousted from his position, and Musk assumed leadership of the company as CEO and product architect, positions he still holds to this day. As of 2021, Elon Musk is the longest-tenured CEO of any automotive manufacturer globally. Musk currently resides in Texas and became the richest man in the world in January of 2021. Always remember, like and subscribe for more videos. Leave a comment below on anything you might have liked in this video, and let us know what you might like to see in future videos. Till next time, we're out.